好，我係 嘅 Phoebe。唔知大家咧行大東山嘅時候，有冇發現山上面咧有一堆好神秘嘅石屋？好多人咧都以為係荒廢咗啦。其實呢一堆屋都仲有人使用啦，同埋默默咁樣保育緊佢哋嘅。今日咧我就將會跟其中一個屋主睇下佢間屋係點樣，同埋呢一堆石屋後面嘅歷史究竟係點嘅。Go 啦 ，Morning， 呢位就係 Mark 啦。
Hi，Catherine。
OK，let's go。Hi， 你好。
好中意睇你片㗎。
多謝你啊。
加油啊！
在佢去拍之前，已經冇咗半條命。
我要跑啦！就嚟到啦！
Tapaman Junction. Within this vast city, you come up here and we sleep in these cabins in the same way people did 100 years ago with no chains.
將呢度大東山爛頭營保育、保存同埋保留，
希望一代傳一代落去咯。
咁我哋行咗大約咧個半鐘嘅路程，終於嚟到大東山咧呢個位，見到後面石屋嘅全貌啦。
大東山上面呢22間石頭屋又叫做爛頭營，係1925至到1934年起嘅。當年廣州一帶唔同教會嘅外國傳教士成日都會去到山上面避暑，佢哋輾轉嚟到香港大東山上面起咗呢啲石頭屋做退休同埋避暑嘅用途，去到而家已經差唔多有100年歷史啦。
What's the number of your cabin?
This one.
This one. 阿媽間屋咧係咁多間石屋入面最高嘅，咁所以個風景都係最靚嘅。
唔單止風景最靚，呢度原來仲係全香港最高嘅私人物業，位於871米嘅山上面，而佢嘅屋亦都係1925年第一批落成嘅初代石屋。
This here is magic. These days I come up almost every weekend. I live on Lantau, so I get the ferry into work every day. And now you're up here. When you take pictures here and send, they think you're in Scotland or something. Being up here is almost, it's transformational. The peacefulness is just amazing. I guess it's the contrast perhaps from the liveliness of Hong Kong. We're talking seriously about retiring up here. I think I want to live here.
點解要踢走啲雜草咧？因為會好容易匿埋咗啲青竹蛇，就好篤嗰種。打攪晒！
已經喺香港住咗36年嘅阿媽，後生嗰陣由倫敦揸車去咗澳洲同埋南美旅行，途中因為使晒啲旅費，輾轉嚟咗香港度做嘢。佢話嗰陣一嚟到就已經愛上呢個地方，定居貝澳。
And like so many people today, I would hike up here. I just thought they were abandoned too because they looked like it. But we knew from visiting our friends in another cabin just how special it is up here. 15 years, I have other friends because all the cabins are privately owned. I was just lucky, I was in the right place at the right time. I guess that's what I'd say. Very rare that these places come up for sale. It's just a very special place and I had no hesitation about it. Yeah, no, I hadn't seen inside.
石頭屋早年由教會所擁有，50至到80年代傳教士都仲係經常上山住同埋退休。後嚟隨住年紀慢慢大，有啲百年歸老，所以就將石頭屋傳俾可以信賴嘅人。業權經過唔同年代嘅轉手，大部分都已經係私人物業，由唔同嘅屋主所持有。
Original cabin, when it was built in 1925, these stones were carved by local craftsmen. If you look from the rocks here, they're 16 inches thick. So the original cabin was just this bit here. Maybe that they used mules to carry up. And this bit behind here was the flat. You can see how they added it. In the 1950s, they extended the cabin. This we feed off of the rain. So we get our water supply off the roof. The rain from the roof into here, and this is our water supply that we use for here.
傳教士1923年曾經喺大帽山用木屋起營地，但係俾颱風吹冧咗。後嚟落腳大東山，佢哋向理民府買咗地之後，就開始起呢啲打風都打唔爛嘅石頭屋。
This is the main area for sleeping. We have 3, you see bunk beds there, but we have another 2 beds in there. So we've slept 8 people before in here.
咁呢間屋咧有2個廁所嘅，一個咧就係喺呢個位， 咁佢哋就平時係用儲落嚟嘅雨水咧去沖廁。
當時國共內戰，大陸嘅宣教士逃難嚟到香港，有段時間爛頭營曾經變咗難民營，因為嗰陣小朋友多，仲曾經喺呢度開過學校。二戰嗰陣，英政府就將山上面嘅德國宣教士家庭遞解咗出境。後嚟日軍打到嚟，有啲嚟唔切走避嘅，就被送到去赤柱嘅集中營。不過二戰之後50年代開始，傳教士又返嚟修建石屋，佢哋仲會帶埋一家大細上山，所以我哋而家見到大部分嘅石屋 size 都比初代嘅大，因為唔同年代嘅石屋佢哋都有加建同埋擴建過㗎。
When this was first built, was that bit in there. So this actually was the front door, and so the cabin was almost half the size it is now. Then this bit here was added, I guess, in the 1950s, 1960s, when they renovated it a bit. Here's more the eating area, the dining area, if you like, more so. There's another toilet in here, which was the original one. So you got the gas, you have the gas, the sink for washing, cooker.
呢度成個格局咧都仲係保留咗喺幾十年前最原始即係成屋個裝修嗰度。
One thing I don't think we really want to change things. We want to keep it original. But we've done things like put the floor down here, all the tiles here, it's different. These are quite interesting, the hooks here, because this is originally where they would have hooked. So they'd hang them up here. You get a lot of rats here as well.
Is there any reason why the door is so narrow?
Well, I guess people 100 years ago were a bit thinner. You see these were the original, the bunks. These probably came up when they added this piece on, probably in the 1950s, I guess. Because there's a bit of Hong Kong history. I think it's important for conservation. So the shutter was here, then they slid it across in the original design back 100 years ago. But somewhere along the line, maybe in the 50s, and they changed to these shutters that go out. But that window actually doesn't open anyway.
入咗嚟都一段時間啦，發現呢間屋係好涼爽。佢呢度嘅窗咧，令到佢風嗰個對流係做得好好嘅。而一間好似望落去好簡單設計嘅石屋咧，其實都有一啲佢嘅設計嘅心思啦，同埋巧妙嘅地方。So what about the gas?
Oh, I carry this up.
You carry it. So how many things you can carry each time?
Depends who you are, you know. You see the water bottles here. I really only carry one myself, but I have a friend who carried 5 in one go.
Wow.
Yeah, you feel the weight, feel the weight, feel the weight. So we carry up water for drinking. Wow, it's drinkable.
阿Mark呢間屋咧係可以180度睇住個太陽由日出呢一邊東邊去到西邊日落，都可以喺呢一個位度睇到，真係好浪漫。What's the feeling to live in a heritage? Like stay, not live.
I think I mentioned to you before, my father was a minister, Church of England. So we'd live in the rectory. So the last one we lived in when I was a child he was the rector of Chelsea in London. Some of the house had Tudor brickwork, so in other words from 1500s, so it's like 400 years old. So I was brought up always in these houses which had several hundred years old already. I guess I'm kind of used to that in some respects. I think there's been a policy in the past to knock it down, build something new in Hong Kong. So there aren't as many heritage things as there should be here, perhaps. Oh, there's some, but not as many as there should be, and this is one of them.
咁喺我身後嘅3號屋咧，就係爛頭營入面最細，亦都係最原始、保留得最耐嘅石頭屋。我哋一陣咧就會去嗰邊探其中一個屋主叫阿 Kurt 嘅外國人啦。佢已經坐咗嗰度啦。我哋到啦，終於，好似行咗好多迷宮咁啊 ！Hello。
Yeah, it's just one main room. This one was turned into a kitchen now, and there's a storeroom in the back, that's it.
So how was the status and condition when you first come into the house?
The actual owner of the house is relatively, let's call it advanced in years. So he has a hard time coming up here. He himself hasn't been up here in about 15 years or something like that. So it was left alone. The shutters were damaged. With that, automatically the weather broke in and everything rusted away. Or was torn away by people who literally had barbecues in here.
喺香港做咗17年導遊嘅Kurt，以前一路以為呢度係軍事嘅用地，直到7年前上山識咗呢度嘅屋主，先知道石屋真正嘅用途。
We made an agreement. I rebuild and then I can use the cabin. So my rent is $1 a year, but I need to keep it up. Those windows were bought, of course. Carried from Mongkok up here.
What else you carried by yourself?
Any wood, you see? Any cement that was used to rebuild the whole thing. For example, in the kitchen, the whole thing is new. That is built here on location. All the shelves and everything, there was nothing here. We rebuilt that on location. Those cracks you see? Because during the Second World War, this was one of the buildings where they removed the roof. And the roofs are not what they were before. The painting out there is just about, 2 months old, but there's already cracks forming again because it's moving.
阿 Kurt 咧就全部都係自己整㗎啦，佢就復修咗一個咁樣嘅 water tank， 喺戶外咧整咗個星盤。佢話咧有時夏天如果想雪嘢飲嘅時候咧，佢就會擺啲汽水啊或者要雪嘅嘢咧就落呢一個水池嗰度，咁啲嘢就會好冰凍。佢啱啱修復呢間屋嘅外牆嘅時候咧，其實呢個位係好大個裂縫嘅，咁佢就自己搬咗好多石屎上嚟咧，就慢慢抿嚟咁樣去抿啦。就算你見到佢係有新同埋舊咧，都冇乜違和感。
I do see a deer from time to time, but I could never ever photograph because every time we do see it, they are next to me and they do not stand still. And as soon as you move, they're off. They are very, very shy. I am a normal person working for a living, so I do not have the money to buy something. Besides the windows, everything else is basically pocket money. It does take a lot of time. It does a lot of work.
What's the meaning for you to conserve the cabin?
I have grown up in the Alps in Austria. At the time, there was no power up there, no solar cells or things like that. It was our job to carry those things to the cabins to help the farmer. We got accommodation, we got food, we got pocket money for it. And so this is just an extension from what was in my youth.
我想講呢度每一間石屋咧，要入嚟都真係唔簡單，好難行，好多草。等陣呢度咧就係第9間嘅 cabin 啦。
Phoebe, here's Catherine.
Nice to meet you, Catherine. Nice to meet you. 有少少似咧去咗瑞士山區嗰啲小木屋咧，見到啲外國人嘅生活咁樣咯。Catherine 呢一間咧，即係入到嚟咧已經係整咗一個咁樣嘅櫥櫃啦。個感覺咧有少少似香港嗰啲蝸居，好善用呢度嘅空間咯。Oh!
I just come to get Bobo.
Secret.
Yeah, there's 2 doors. Because when the cabins were originally built, there was no plan. So they build something, and maybe 2 years later or a few years later, they build another bit. That's why. So we have the cooking bit here and the cleaning bit in another little kitchen over there.
They were sort of like a couple in retirement and they were going back to New Zealand. So they wanted the cabin to go on to somebody who would look after it. They tried with their daughter and their son, but they had no interest.
And we met somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody else, and eventually we got a cabin 18 years ago.
因為山上面嘅天氣變幻莫測又潮濕，每次 Catherine 上嚟，除咗孭住大量嘅食物同埋用品之外，都要好好咁樣清潔同埋修理間屋。單係做防水防潮嘅工作，都已經花咗唔少嘅心機。
There are many things you need to prepare when you come up. So what lets you hear the nature or the atmosphere?
It's both. It's the nature, the atmosphere. It's amazing.
Because it's very remote. Extreme weathers in Hong Kong, it's very harsh weather. It's either too hot, too humid. Remembers the typhoons. I mean, the winter's cold as well. So these cabins, I mean, it's amazing they've lasted so long.
I studied interior architecture at uni, and I remember learning about HSBC, you know, the fabulous buildings. And then when we came to Hong Kong all these years ago, going into those buildings was fabulous. But we didn't realise as students what Hong Kong was. We just thought it's the city and skyscrapers and concrete, and there's so much more, and that's what's kept us here. And living on Lanto Island is what's kept us in Hong Kong. I think in 2 years it's the centenary, or in 2 years?
Yeah, it's 24. Yeah,
2024.
We're going to have some sort of huge fireworks, get some celebrity. You will be invited.
Thank you.
This is luxury. The luxury of privacy, sort of privacy, and you feel alone. You've got space. Everything becomes more meaningful and you have to carry everything up. It's not about money, it's more about the lifestyle. So I think you choose your salt. I think you lick your.
估唔到今日會有一個咁嘅環節喺大東山嘅石屋前面飲呢個 Tequila。OK， 飲勝，乾杯。
The lemon helps.
爽啊！爽啊！Thank you so much.
Oh, most welcome. Thanks for coming. It's so nice to see you.
佢哋屋主之間有個組織叫做大嶼山爛頭營居民協會。雖然大部分嘅屋都係私人物業，但係屋主最大嘅宗旨係保育同埋修護呢個歷史遺跡。早年成日見到有行山客破壞石屋嘅行為，亦都係屋主最困擾嘅事啊。
So many people come up here now. There's thousands.
If my wife sleeps in there, the people would go straight up to the window and gawk inside or take pictures from the window in. Or people come up here, they go straight for the water. Not a good morning, not a good afternoon, no hello, no nothing. And there was the toilet remains from people here right in front of the door. That's number 15, the main concern. They did it into the water tank. In order to get up there, you have to step on the fixtures, and those fixtures eventually will get worn down. So those fixtures need to stay where they are. And we're climbing it. Over time, slowly, you will erode it.
Our mission, if you like, is to protect our properties. And I think it's a bit of Hong Kong history as well. We can't control it, but if we can influence at all new people coming in, it's people that will look after the place and for what it is. Just letting people know about the environmental issues as well as our cabins to have some respect.
我哋今晚就瞓喺度，係佢哋嘅飯堂，好似咧最多可以容納80個人。
而除咗屋主，呢度都有班香港人守護緊爛頭營，每個零2個月就會抬住啲好重嘅泥沙啊、英泥啊、水喉管等等，上山做檢查同埋維修日久失修嘅設施，有時仲要清埋風竇啊！
多謝大家招待。呢班咧就係爛頭營嘅義工啦。咁今晚我哋一齊咧就會瞓喺大本營呢度，咁就一齊食飯。
如果佢哋聖誕節啊，就會喺度開 party 嘅。係啦，咁呢啲就會存咗喺個箱裏邊咯。
設備係好齊嘅。
係啊，你見到係實木嚟㗎，呢啲全部都。起碼超過50年㗎啦，呢啲係。你見裏邊咧仲有雪櫃、焗爐㗎。焗爐都有啊，因為佢用火水嘅，火水爐嚟嘅，佢用火水石油氣嗰啲嚟點著嘅。
咁其實咧，佢呢度本身就有幾張長台，即係佢係一個木板啦。你要食嘢嘅時候，你就可以搬塊木板上個台腳嗰度，就變成一張台啦。要瞓覺嘅時候咧，變咗好似一個榻榻米咁啊！我嗰邊你度嘢黑晒，哇！好似鬼屋咁啊，大佬！
你個樣都好似鬼嚟㗎，你係咪落咗妝啦？
係，好似鬼。
係。
最初我行山嗰陣時，我覺得係廢屋嘅。後尾識咗阿 Jackie 同其他啲義工咧，咁先知道原來呢度係由業主同埋真係可以 join 佢嚟維修。
我嗰陣時係學生嚟嘅，7幾年嘅時候，經過呢度咪即係乘機啊入嚟玩啊，一路都係 keep 住喺度同啲外籍人士咧，同埋傳教士咧有幫下手啦，整下嘢啊。每逢有聖誕節啊、Summer Holiday嗰啲，啲小朋友好開心喺度玩啊、游水啊。喺一個教會，但係佢有好多教區啊，唔同嘅傳教士教區嘅，個間屋都唔同樣嘅，18號個人字頂嘅，就7號屋就一層層嘅，有啲咁斜，有啲咁斜。
爛頭營入面有19間係住宅，另外一個係飯堂同埋佢附設嘅屋仔。仲有一個就係俾當時守營人、咕喱等等嘅人住嘅宿舍，另外仲有泳池、儲水池等等嘅公共設施。以前傳教士上山嗰陣會請埋廚師幫手喺飯堂入面煮飯，仲會僱用大嶼山嘅村民做挑夫同埋轎夫，孭行李同埋細蚊仔上山。佢哋喺山上面一留就係2-3個月。所以嗰陣會有挑夫幫手運送少量嘅日用品去飯堂，等佢哋購買。
喺水池度打水。
哎呀，滿啊！
平時係咪啲義工都會負責呢度嘅維修咧？
都會啊！你見到可能咧，因為仲有啲沙樽喺度咧，我哋擺喺樓下個艇咧，就叫佢哋幫手攞上嚟咧，就我哋遲啲愛嚟做維修嘅。
義工咧，其實今日咧係有啲維修嘅工作。佢哋其中一個工作咧，其實係要上呢間屋嘅頂部啦，去睇下有冇一啲漏水嘅地方要修葺嘅。
佢之前漏水啊、裂咗啊，咁啲義工就幫手會整翻佢咯。佢啲鐵枝發脹咗咧，所以谷到呢啲石屎咧都爆開咗。呢個咧去做雙層，我知道其實佢哋係保溫作用㗎。咁呢啲就係純粹天然光咯，佢哋坐喺天然光用咯。
下次就要補呢度啦，因為漏水。
咁而家佢就刮走啲青苔啦，係啦，同埋啲草根，慢慢上，撳住屋頂兩邊。
係。
咁而家就未可以做。
而家就未可以做住。琴晚因為落得太大雨啦，玻璃膠咧全部已經硬化咗啦。所以變咗咧，佢呢啲位會入水咯。
一望真啲，個地咧係好多啲好細微嘅裂縫啦。係首先要剷起晒啲青苔，曬乾咗之後，再倒啲防水物料去，再曬咧，先叫做完成一個咁樣嘅工序嘅。係啊，真係好佩服佢哋付出咗好多時間、心機、精神。
咁一笪地方咧，就亦都咁中意呢度，因為可以好短時間去轉換2個世界咯。可以睇晒日出日落啊，所有風雲變色。有人曾經意圖及企圖，所以就纜車上嚟，我哋好努力咁樣執停咗。
Remain 比較係窩啲原始啲嘅，繼續可以保留翻咁嘅味道咯。
深水埗嗰個配水庫嘅事件咧，就係嗰個當時即係水務署拆嘅時候咧，唔係俾人哋影到相揭發到出嚟咧，咁已經係成個已經係拆咗噶啦。即係大東山而家一個咁完整嘅古蹟，都希望可以保護到咯，係啊。
你冇人用間屋嘅話，自己去散嘅啦，會有人用嘅話，都可以係一個保育佢咯。
係一定有啲愛心啦，同埋中意呢度嘅人，中意同埋唔怕辛苦嘅人，先可以喺度維持同埋繼續延續落去。
中大建築系學院最近籌劃緊大東山爛頭營計劃，希望修復保育同埋研究佢嘅文化、歷史同埋生態價值。
Hill Station 就係一啲西方人嚟到東南亞，係咪？佢哋需要可能喺夏天，特別係夏天嘅時候，有個避暑嘅地方。
石做嘅建築群啦，咁嘅規模或者咁嘅 style， 同埋即係佢由建營到而家都仲 run 緊嘅話咧，咁基本上成個東南亞嘅地方其實得返爛頭營。佢無論喺建築歷史咧，又或者喺即係香港歷史，或者即係甚至放大到即係成個東南亞嘅歷史文化價值，其實佢係一個好特別嘅地位咯。
係一個活嘅歷史咯。
因為我哋睇到喺唔同年代爛頭營嘅人，即係佢哋經歷大時代嘅背景啦，
包括就係一啲非常國際化嘅宣教士，
背後可能係宣教嘅，但係其實佢哋係參與咗好多喺香港唔同年代嘅社會建設同埋福利啊等等。acknowledge 翻，即係香港曾經有一個好國際化嘅城市咧，
都係同佢嘅歷史息息相關嘅，即係非常之珍貴咯嚇。
坦白講，其實我一路都好想做到爛頭營嘅故仔。以往提起香港嘅歷史遺跡，感覺總係有啲離身。當我發現原來有個咁近在咫尺嘅 hidden gem 喺你同我身邊，感覺真係好神奇。希望大家了解過爛頭營嘅故仔，行山經過嗰陣都可以多加尊重，因為其實香港人個個都有份愛護一個咁難得嘅遺跡㗎。
粉紅色邊仔，好可愛，好似啲芒草咁。出面啲芒草都粉紅色。
見到佢哋其實對生活嘅熱情係好大嘅，即係唔係話淨係上嚟 chill 咁簡單，佢哋係好中意同你分享佢嘅生活模式啦，佢中意嘅嘢啦咁樣。
另外啲咩？
剩咗半支 Tequila， 佢就話俾埋阿 Jackie， 佢仲俾咗隻檸檬我，同埋佢而家準備緊啲鹽俾我，但係 Jackie 係唔會拎到，因為我會咁樣。我哋三個今晚自己對埋，講笑啫。